Safety in the Czech Republic is a big topic in the expat community, so I decided to prepare some official criminal activity statistics for you. But maybe before I jump into the numbers, I must tell you one thing. I saw these numbers for the first time myself earlier today. So I will try to comment on them, share my honest opinion about the numbers, and put them into some perspective and feeling. If you're not living here, so how people in the Czech Republic feel about these numbers, or from my perspective. First thing I need to say is that there are 10.5 million people living in the Czech Republic. So whatever numbers you hear from me today, you need to put them into perspective of 10.5 million people. Okay? So let's go through the numbers right now. Let's start with traffic accidents. 470 people died during traffic accidents. That's basically 1.5 person a day, maybe. I would say that it's okay, understandable, because Czechs are not really good drivers, especially when there's some weather conditions, let's say. Because anytime it starts raining, anytime it starts snowing, anytime it's too hot or too cold, Czech people just don't know how to drive. They cannot drive. So this statistic for me is kind of okay, expected maybe. Number 2, this is very important for expats, and that's breaking into apartments or breaking into houses. So these statistics, there were 1,555 breakings into apartments and 2,231 breakings into houses, which in my opinion is a very, very low number. Of course, it would be interesting to see the locations where it's more likely to happen, and from what I've heard from the local police in Prague, obviously it's very common in Prague too, in Vinohrady, because that's where most English-speaking expats live, and they're the most expensive apartments there. So it's the first location in Prague, I would say. But I don't have this backed up by statistics. But the total numbers, I would say that's a very little amount, because 1,000 out of I don't know how many apartments is there. That's not really too many. Number 3. This was very interesting statistics for me, and that's how many people legally own guns in the Czech Republic. 308,990 people legally owning guns in the Czech Republic. Honestly speaking, this number was very surprising for me, because you don't see anyone having guns around. I've only seen guns with police officers and military people when there are military people. Not that there are too many in the streets, but sometimes when there is something happening, you might see soldiers here as well. Obviously they have guns, but I've never seen a normal person in the street or somewhere holding a gun or having a gun somewhere. So this number is very surprising for me. Almost 310,000 people owning guns. So there are 310,000 people owning guns, and there are in total 933,432 guns legally owned in the Czech Republic. So it's almost million guns, which was super surprising for me, because there is 10 million people and 1 million guns. I would never have guessed that. So this was very surprising for me. But again, most of the guns are for collection or sport guns, or for the people who go to the forest and take care of that officially. So again, there are million guns among people, but I have never seen one basically in the streets. Number 4, most interesting for most people, I would say, that's murders. So how many murders do you think there were in the Czech Republic in 2021? The number is 105. So this is a very low number in my opinion, and I'll tell you 2 more things. First of all, 100 out of those have been solved. So there are only 5 murders which haven't been solved. And based on this, also, the majority of murders happen within family or among partners. So you get angry with your partner and you kill them. That's usually what happens. So again, there are no like murders that someone would kill you on the street, that someone would shoot you on the street, or someone would just like harm you in the streets. These murders are usually in most cases among partners or within a family. And one interesting fact is that most of these murders happen with a kitchen knife. So yeah, that obviously gives me the idea that you start arguing with your partner and then you are in the kitchen and you just stab them. Sad, but probably nothing too dangerous. If you move here and you're worried about your life, probably you don't have to. So then number 5, number of stolen cars. This was also kind of surprising for me because there are so many cars in the Czech Republic and only 2,336 out of those are stolen every year, and about 527 motorcycles stolen every year. About exactly the number. Okay, then number 6. This was very interesting because I would not say that we had any cases of this, but human trafficking. 14 cases last year in 2021. That was kind of very surprising because I would not imagine anything like that happening here. You don't really hear about it in the news and it's not a common thing here. There are other countries where it's probably more popular, but I would not have guessed that we had any at all, honestly. Number 7, rape. This is bad. The number of rapes in the Czech Republic was 773, which might sound like a relatively small number as well, like 10.5 million people, 700 rapes, or 800 rapes. Yeah, that's bad. I cannot imagine how it must be to be raped and like how like traumatized you must be. So if 800 people, even though it's like 0.5% or whatever, so it's like the chance that it happens to you is very low, it's still, yeah, that's sad. And I cannot imagine how it must be for the people who are raped. So from this perspective, it's bad, and probably many people don't get out with that as well. So maybe it might be more. But again, it's not really something you would need to be worried about if you just walk outside of the, like in the streets or something. I don't know where it happens mostly, I don't have that, but these are the numbers. Number 8 would be illegal immigrants. So how many illegal immigrants there were in the Czech Republic in 2021? That surprised me as well because the number is pretty high. It's 11,170. So over 10,000, 11,000 people. That's a lot. I didn't expect that high number. So that was a surprise for me. And number 9, which is related to that, and that's illegal work in the Czech Republic. So how many people work here illegally? And there are 2 sub-statistics. And the second one actually surprised me a lot, because I wouldn't expect this number. So, illegal work, so how many people were working illegally in 2021? It's 3,295. That's kind of expected. Half of them were in Raleigh probably like a couple of years ago. I'm not sure if I can say that, I'll probably cut it out, but 3,295, okay, that's understandable since we are in this business, so I can imagine this happening, so the number is not that surprising. But what was very surprising for me was the amount companies were fined for illegal employment or illegal work of employees. Because the number, the total amount of fines given by the government to companies was 200 million crowns for illegal work. So it's actually 189,908,000 crowns in fines, but like almost 200 million crowns fines for illegal work, that's a huge amount. So if you're a company, then if you are asking yourself why a company doesn't want to hire me, I'm just waiting for my visa to be approved, why I cannot work, this is the reason. Because probably as a company you don't want to get like 200 million crowns fine for illegal work. So those were the official statistics. As for what it means for normal life, as mentioned, I would not say that you meet any of these basically in your normal life. Like let's say murders. Now I haven't seen anyone murdered. I haven't heard anyone talking about knowing someone who was murdered or seeing something like that. So I don't think you need to be worried about murders at all. Traffic accidents, well, if you drive safe, you should be fine as well. People legally owning guns, that was a big surprise for me that so many people and so many guns are in the Czech Republic, because you don't see guns in the streets. And if you see them, it's police or military. So really this is a huge surprise for me. I would expect that we have like maybe 100,000 guns and like 3 people now, but like maybe 30,000 people owning guns legally, but almost a million guns in the Czech Republic. That's interesting, but you don't really see it anywhere. Also, if you relate it to the murders, so there is 1 million guns in the Czech Republic and 100 murders, out of which the majority is committed by kitchen knife anyway. So guns are not really a problem in the Czech Republic. Rapes, yes, so be careful about that, because that's the statistics that gets me the most. Again, I don't think I've heard about anyone being raped. I've heard about people being robbed in the streets or being like not in a good situation. In Prague, I mean, and especially in the city center, if you walk in the city center, some parts of it at night, like late night, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, I would say mainly it's not like, mainly you could have problems with drunk people or drug addicts. I don't think that there is anyone, but again, my opinion, that there is anyone just like wandering around Prague and like looking to rape someone. It would just happen, I would say, kind of accidentally, not the rape itself, that would be stupid for me to say, but that it's not planned maybe. But still, like this number 700 or 800, it's big. Yeah, that's something I didn't expect, and that's one of the things I would be concerned about. Illegal work, of course, I discussed that with you. Trafficking, I don't think you need to be worried about human trafficking, but that was a surprising statistics for me as well. Illegal migrants or illegal immigrants, 11,000 crowns. Maybe one thing for you which might be interesting, is that if you're caught illegally staying here, then the Czech Republic deports you, and you can also be banned from coming back for some period of time, depending on how much, like how long have you been overstaying your legal allowance, or if you've done some crime here meanwhile, or where are you from, all that. But you will be deported, and it will be in your record, and you might even be banned from coming back for some time. And anyway, after that, you would have a hard time getting a visa if you get caught illegally here. So even if it's past the, I don't know, 6 months or 1 year you've been banned, if you wanted to apply for a visa, I would say that the chances that you will get it approved are very low anyway. So basically, if you come here illegally, basically you've closed the doors for you to ever come back legally. So I would probably not risk it. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think about the statistics. If there is something that surprised you, or if there is something you would like me to maybe speak about next time, because this is just like a few statistics I've chosen, but there are way more. Or what you think, if you're already living in the Czech Republic, so what you think about these statistics. Have you seen any crimes like that, or have you been part of any crime like that? So let me know in the comments, and see you next time.